A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how was your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody out there in Turn 2 Underland. Welcome back to our coverage of the Mission R Challenge Top Split Strength of Field broadcast here. And welcome back to the Charlotte Roval. We're back under the lights here under the 2018 long version of the Charlotte Roval. 18 turns, nearly 2.5 miles of Roval insanity here today. It is always a wild race when we pull up here for a number of reasons, and that is going to be the case here again today. Welcome back to what's going to be a wild one, Matt Williamson. Welcome back to the Charlotte Roval. This is always one that we, as non-participants, always look forward to here on the channel.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, this one, along with the Daytona Road Course as well. I mean, just two of the most epic places that we come to here in the PMR. Always exciting for us. The drivers can get frustrated at times. Usually often, I should say. But they put on a great show for us, and looking forward to more of it here. Under the lights this time. This should be interesting.
Yes, it should, and the long edition of this Roval comes in the infield right before you would make your exits. It's the layout that NASCAR was initially going to run when they first announced the Roval all those many years ago. It never happened. This also has the shallower bus stop down the backstretch. All that to say, these tires are going to be put under more strain and more load than they would on the regular version of the Roval. This is the layout that we ran here last season, and we saw even more incidents than we normally would say 2 seasons ago when we ran the regular NASCAR version of the Roval. So things will be intense as they usually are, but even more so here today with the long version. 20 drivers will take to it here in just a couple of minutes. I want to welcome in everybody that is hanging out with us here already on a Sunday afternoon, and remind everybody that it's a doubleheader here today. If you like Charlotte, you'll like the Charlotte Oval. It's what's coming up next here. Mission O at the top of the hour is what we've got on for the drivers here. Anybody that wants to come run with us for the Mission O in a little bit is more than welcome to. And we got some other stuff here as well. You may have been with us when we talked about it on Thursday night, when we were talking about a theoretical Nate Seifker charity race. That charity race is now set in stone. It is going to be coming up here on Tuesday evening. Pretty late start, I do believe, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, something like that. But either way, it's the IR-18s at Michigan. And that is going to be an absolutely fantastic race here for the Nate Seifker charity race coming up in just a couple of days. Coming up this Tuesday. So if you want to participate, if you want to donate, come join our Discord server. We'll get you pointed in the right direction to do either of those things. But it should be a good time.
Yeah, that one's gonna be interesting. That is very much Nate Seifker approved, by the way. That is gonna be baller.
Absolutely. Got about 10 seconds left here in qualifying. Hello to Goodleaf, as always. And we're about ready to get after it here. A bit surprised here. Normally, you talk about Rovals, they go hand in hand with the reigning series champ, JJ Wang, but he's not even on the front row here. So maybe the Roval champ will be dethroned here today. Piers Berry with the top time at 1:24.303. Jonathan Oshlem on the front row here to start. Then it's JJ Wang in third. Last week's winner of the craziest PMR race we may have ever had on the channel, Olivia Hayward, starting in fourth. Indica Scarlett and Guillermo de Oliveira in row number 3. Sean Begley and James Watson on the fourth row. Ella Spice and Alex Araya back in the field here, starting in 7th. Michael Haller and Hank Jan Steneker on row number 6. It is Rebecca Davin and Sean Bowman on row 7. Alexander Catamol and Javier Mosquera on row number 8. Javier is deep in the field here. Georgie Trepsik, Adriano Hansen, Remco Hierholtz, and Blaine Gibson are your 20 drivers that are going to get after it here today. Matt, quickly, some track conditions here under the lights at Charlotte.
Yeah, cool track temperature, 75 degrees. Not as cool as we've seen in the past, though. So, I mean, obviously you talked about how the tires are going to get used up pretty good here. You know, the cooler track temperature will help, but it's not going to help that much. It's still going to be very difficult to conserve the tires here for the drivers, keep the heat out of them. Gonna have to kind of have a little bit of give and take here as we go along, because if you heat them up too much, you gotta take a little bit of time off the next lap around. So it gets interesting.
And it's about to get very interesting here as the lights are off and the drivers are about to roll into Tums Heartburn turn at Charlotte. We're underway here with Mission R at the Roval. Berry leads him in. Oshlem on the outside pole, going to give way to JJ. As they're spinning around, that was Hayward. Hayward, the only one involved miraculously, but still, we funnel into the infield here.
Yeah, did not take long for contact to occur, and Hayward doesn't really go for a full... Oh, there's more contact!
That is Michael Haller. So
somebody else was wide there as well. I think it was Hierholtz, maybe.
Big problems as we're now heading into the extended infield Roval section. Piers Berry leading JJ Wang and Jonathan Oshlem. Indica Scarlett in fourth. Guillermo de Oliveira right now rounds out the top 5. And out through the outfield, boy, JJ had to get on the binders there not to pile into the back of Piers Berry.
Yeah, that corner coming back out onto the oval is a lot different than it is on the short version of this course. It's a lot more technical, in my opinion. I got to really be careful when you're trying to get the power down.
Headed through the bus stop. There goes Piers Berry. Berry from the lead is around a self-spin, and it'll give the lead to JJ Wang.
It's almost like Berry got loose through that shortened bus stop or shallower bus stop and never got it corrected, and as soon as he hit the the asphalt there on the oval, it just kind of went right around.
Couldn't tell how much curbing he took on any direction there. But regardless, Pierce Berry is going to give up the top spot.
Hayward trying to work her way back through the field, working on Rebecca David at the moment. David putting up a good fight, though. Oh, clipped the turtle just a little bit. Should allow Hayward to get through.
Olivia Hayward did a nice job staying in front of all the carnage last week at Road America, and there was plenty of it. But Hayward not as fortunate to start this one off. So it's Wang leading, Oshalim dropping back in second. Indica Scarlet, a podium finisher here last season, in a podium position once again.
David is in the thick of it right now. Mascara followed Hayward through after the small mistake from David, and then Pierce Berry, of course, who has been very quick, working his way back up through the field, also gets around David.
Mascara was in the top 5 in points last week, was a no-show at Road Americas, dropped out of the standings since. Of course, we've got to... Oh, boy! Wow. Berry was up on the right side tires there. That was crazy. This is week 8, of course. Drop weeks are coming into effect now into the point standings, even if you only run Sunday afternoons. Here's a challenge for third. De Oliveira looking to the inside of Scarlet for that bronze medal place, and will take it. Lead is cut in half for J.J. Wang, who's got Jonathan Oshalim closing in, but not under fire just yet for that top spot. They are pretty stacked up from third on back.
Oshalim has closed right up to the back of J.J. Wang here through the infield.
Oshalim thinks last week he hung around saving the tires for about a lap too long, and I would agree with that. Got right up next to Olivia Hayward, coming across the stripe, but needed another lap to complete the pass. Oshalim with the better bus stop there is going to close up to J.J. Wang into the big final chicane here. And we'll take a look.
Yeah, kind of took a little half look there. I don't think was super committed, but that's such a difficult place. Try and make that, especially with 15 minutes left. I mean, you don't want to throw it all on the table when you got 15 minutes left to make something happen.
Yeah. And you talked about Pierce Berry having speed after the spin. He just posted the purple lap back in P10.
Those tires finally got cooled down enough after the spin. It takes a little while after a spin like that to have them come back to an optimal temperature for you.
The winners of... Oh, go ahead.
This may have been the case last week as well, but new for me, J.J. Wang's livery a little bit different here this week. Took me a minute to figure out where he was at the start of this race.
That is Nate Siefker's car, I do believe. So nice touch there for his teammate and our good friend up here.
Ella Spice looking for a pass on Araya. Going into that bus stop. A little bit of a blink there. Araya kind of disappeared there for a moment as well, so I make it a little bit more difficult for Ellis. Oh, and it looks like problems for Hayward, and that is right after the bus stop, almost the exact same thing that happened to Barry.
Yeah, tough race is getting tougher here for Olivia. JJ continuing to try and put some distance between he and Jonathan Oshalim. These two have won 6 of the 7 Sunday top splits this season.
Big grouping here together.
Wow.
And that was Araya to get past James Watson.
That was a huge lunge there.
But now Spice sits behind Watson. And there's 3 or 4 drivers all stacked up here. Gave a little bit of breathing room to Begley. And Indica Scarlet not too far in front of Begley here either, but lots of drivers. Mascara, Pierce, Berry, they're all really kind of right here together. Oh my goodness! Mascara, I think, had all 4 wheels off the ground there.
Begley's gone for a spin.
That bus stop proving to be absolutely treacherous, and Begley has smashed into the wall at some point. Front end of that car is absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, he was running in 5th. He's going to be in a bit of trouble here, I do believe. Michael Haller and Rebecca Davin have both gotten meatball flags. So they head to the pits.
I mean, that shallower bus stop is certainly, you don't want to slow down a whole lot because you lose a ton of time, but it can, I mean, that's the place where we've seen a lot of problems for drivers. It's one thing to be slow, but another to be right on the limit and take yourself out. We've seen so many drivers go around there already.
JJ Wang back under fire for the lead. A couple of different lines there through the long section of the infield. And that brought Jonathan Oshlem right back into play. Looks like Wang got the better exit on the transition here. But Oshlem's been better through the bus stop. May have a crack at it here if he can execute once again. And they're about even keel. Still get a little bit of a draft here through the oval section into the final chicane. Coming up on the halfway mark of the race. Using those turf strips there to their advantage. Oshlem faking a peek there. Oh, but Wayne got a bit too much curb. May open the door.
Oh, we have a problem there.
Yeah,
at the
it's Mascara.
front chicane. Mascara around.
I believe Araya and James Watson got crossed up. Maybe Ellis Spice involved in that as well.
It looked like a few slow drivers through there. Not sure if they were just trying to avoid what had already happened or exactly what happened. We'll try to take a look at that one here in a moment.
Got a lap car ahead of the leaders here. It is Michael Haller.
We really haven't talked about that chicane too much here today, but these cars can get really, really tight when you're trying to exit out onto the front stretch there, and it's very easy to get up into the wall as you're coming through that final turn.
Well, Alex Araya just cut the entire long portion of the infield, went through the grass, so I'm sure he'll have a slowdown to serve.
Go on board with JJ as he's trying to work through here. Does a really nice job. Oh, Oshlem tried to take a look to the inside.
And it was Oshlem that time that caught a lot of curbing. And loses a bit of time.
Oh, there's another one around. That's Araya. Couldn't tell if Mascara got into the back of him or not.
Araya's having a tough time all of a sudden.
Kind of missed the beginning of that incident there, but Mascara was right there close. Maybe just applied too much pressure, and that is such a tricky set. There's here on the long course at the Roval, it's a lot trickier for these particular cars, I think. The final, or the turn coming out onto the oval from the infield is really a lot trickier. The bus stop's a lot trickier. That chicane is always tricky. I mean, it's just resilient here.
Oh, Guillermo de Oliveira in third just went off the track. I think is still in the third position, though. But has lost quite a bit of time to Indica Scarlet. Oh, JJ Wang a lot of curb there. Lucky to keep that one going. It's going to open the door for a move from Oshalim.
And JJ had to make that save up almost to the wall. Oshalim to the inside.
Jonathan Oshalim to the lead. Window of opportunity well taken.
Oh, it looked like JJ, or sounded like he got into the
Yeah,
inside wall there through the second turn as well.
I think that did happen. So now it's JJ in a position we haven't really seen him in before here at the Roval, chasing for the lead.
Gotta wonder if he'll take the infield a little bit easy here to try and cool down those tires. And contact between the two.
Shouldn't be detrimental to either of them, but surely Oshalim. That was detrimental to his winning chances here today. Unforced error, but that is a tricky place on the track here tire-wise. These two have been pushing each other, and that's the result.
Wow. Still almost 7 minutes left here as well, and just about anything that could happen already has happened here. Let's go. We're going to take a look at the replay there for the incident for Oshalim. Went a little bit wide there through the left-hander. And then, yeah, that rear end just came right around. Once it starts, it's probably not going to stop.
Not in this car.
No, not in this car. That's right.
So Wang Oshalim, D'Oliveira right now, your top three. Indica Scarlet has faded away, still in fourth though. Ellis Spice rounds out your top five. James Watson trying to close back in. That'd be the battle for fifth. Watson sixth, Mascara seventh, Trep sixth, Steneker and Johansson the top 10.
We just watched JJ and Jonathan go through that same section where Jonathan had gone around, and you could tell Jonathan was really kind of tiptoeing there through those couple of turns.
I believe it.
I mean, that's kind of what you have to do already, but after you just had an incident, you're definitely minding your P's and Q's there through that one. Looked like Oshalim nearly got up into the outside wall there after the chicane, right across the start-finish. But
he's
starting
still
to
hanging
close back in.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a battle between Trepsic, and I think this is Hank-Jan Steneker. Looks like Steneker gets through on the way into the chicane right before start finish. Ellis Spice got around James Watson at some point. Not sure when that happened, but Watson now still keeping up with the number 5.
Well, this is Watson trying to get back into that battle. Watson, a while ago, got taken out by Alex Araya from the looks of it by a misplaced dive bomb. This is Watson clawing his way back to try and get to the top 5 again.
They're out of the bus stop onto oval turns 3 and 4. Oshalim was able to close. But right back up to J.J. Wang here. Needs a good run through the infield to set him up to really get close next time around.
Javier Mascaras had a problem. He went for a spin out of the bus stop. His lost 2 positions. He's back to 9th. Into the extension. Once again, in the closing minutes here at the Roval. Can you imagine the Cup cars doing this? I sure can.
It would be chaos. Whoa! We're on board with Jonathan Oshalim as they work their way through the end of that infield section back out onto the oval, and you can hear the tires trying to get turned around as they came up onto the banking.
Intensity's picking up for the battle for 5th as well. Spice and Watson are all right there together. But Oshalim continuing to inch his way forward, trying to retake the lead. Should be 2 laps to go.
Watson might take a look to the inside. No, not this time. Takes a pretty rugged trip there through the turtles. Needs an electric vehicle with a little bit better suspension to be doing that time and time again.
This car is a little rigid.
Maybe a tinfoil looking one.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. Well, Indica Scarlet is back into the mix here, looking for 3rd, and puts the bumper to De Oliveira.
Oh, this will be interesting. De Oliveira still right here. Oh, they just about got together.
Well, they're not done getting together
now they
yet.
are together.
Yeah. That's going to be a slugfest here for the final lap and a quarter. Oh, Jonathan Oshalim is spun. He sent it through the bus stop, caught a little bit too much curbing, and now all of a sudden, he's going to be in the middle of this 3-way battle for 2nd now.
Well, De Oliveira just about went around, caught a huge amount of the turtle there out of the bus stop. Indica Scarlet actually got underneath into the bus stop, and De Oliveira just kind of let her have it.
Well, it is now a 10-second lead for J.J. Wang here on the final lap. Indica Scarlet wants another shot at a podium here. It'd be 2 in a row at the Roval. And Oshalim at this point, I would imagine, probably just wanted to finish 2nd and get out of Dodge.
We'll take a look at the incident for Oshalim after the race has concluded. Still looking closely at this battle between Scarlet and De Oliveira for the podium position.
J.J. Wang is out of the infield. Will be headed to the bus stop for the final time. Watson and Spice still battling. Watson once back in the top 5. Mascara's just gotten past Trepsic for 8th. And J.J. Wang through the bus stop for the final time, looking for yet another victory on the season. For the 6th Sunday this season, it's J.J. Wang across the line to win it here, back-to-back at the Charlotte Roval.
Not much of a battle between Scarlet and De Oliveira any longer, but James Watson right on the back of Ella Spice for a top 5.
Oshalim and Scarlet the podium, and Spice is going to hang on for 5th place.
And Olivia Hayward trying to get a couple more spots here after. Oh, kiss the bumper to somebody. A really early breaking point there for. I'm not sure who that was, to be quite honest, but Hayward just about punted them.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was either. That was a big shot. And a great save by Olivia Hayward, who has had a frustrating race to say the least. And for a correction, it's actually JJ Wang's 5th Sunday victory of this season.
We're going to go ahead and take a replay at the incident for Oshalim before we get to the final results. And shocker, it once again is through the bus stop. Oh, and actually, Oshalim got really upset by the turtle on entry into the bus stop, it looked like. Got really loose, turned to the right, and then caught a huge amount
on the
exit.
That's a lot.
Seen that from so many drivers, and the bigger problem was got into the grass as well. Wasn't quite able to keep it all the way on the asphalt, so had to kind of tiptoe through the grass there as well. Alrighty, Tommy, you ready for the final rundown here?
I'd say let's do it. SJJ Wang with the win. Jonathan Oshalim in second. And Indica Scarlett back on the podium for the second time in a row here at the Roval. Hopefully we'll talk to all three drivers momentarily. Guillermo de Oliveira right now will finish in fourth after a hard-fought battle there with Indica at the end of the race. Ellis Spice will round up the top five. Fends off James Watson for sixth. Hank Gunn, Stiniker, Javier Mascara, Olivia Hayward, Georgie Trepsick the top 10. Adrian Johansson will finish in P11. Sean Begley in 12th. Rebecca David in 13th. Sean Bowman and Blaine Gibson, your top 15. Rimko Herholtz in 16th. Michael Haller, a DNF in 17th. Alex Arrea, disappointing 18th. Pierce Berry, I'm sure disappointed with 19th. And Alexander Cattermole, I believe, disconnected, reconnected, and then disconnected again. So a bit of a non-starter for Alexander Cattermole down in 20th. We'll talk to your podium finishers.
Excited.
And we'll talk to Indica Scarlett here after a podium finish last season at the Roval. Didn't get to talk to you, but we got you up here today. Congrats.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be really, really difficult. Thank you, guys.
You got your elbows out there at the end. That was some pretty aggressive racing.
I wanted to get that podium and get on the broadcast finally.
Well, I mean, what does it take to muscle the car around Charlotte Roval? Because I mean, you seem to have a knack for it at this point.
Yeah, it's one of the best tracks. And I really like this particular layout. And just like the tire management is like really key here. And I could see that Guillermo, if that's how you say his name, I'm not sure. I could just really tell that he was struggling on his tires, and I knew it was like go time. And I think he backed off a little bit because he knew that like if we were going into that chicane side by side, we were probably going to die, and I was ready to die for this.
All right, Matt, what do you got for Scarlett?
Yeah, congrats on the podium. I mean that was I guess for us obviously the main point there right at the very end. The two of you were absolutely duked it out there for the final couple of laps. But I mean, talk to me about the race as a whole. I mean, very difficult corners around here, and the bus stop, the shallower bus stop, is just absolutely treacherous here. I mean, what does it take to get through there safely?
Yeah, it's like extremely technical. I love this track. Like IndyCar. People talk about IndyCar coming here. I don't think IndyCar can run here. I know Newgarden ran like a demo lap one time, but it's too dangerous, and that's what makes it super fun. So, yeah, but like the start of the race, I don't know what happened to Olivia. I'll have to look back at that. I know she had some problem there, and that stinks. So I'll have to look at that.
Well, we're happy to keep the danger here on the sim, and there was plenty of it today, to your point. But congrats on another podium here. Great to get you up here finally. Anybody you want to shout out or say hi to?
Yeah, I will always have to thank my wife for letting me do this thing, and I have to thank Goodleaf for big time support of me in the chat. I think with you guys. You've met her, so really good to have her. Always backing. supporting me. And I really appreciate you guys doing the broadcast.
Well, thank you very much. Go celebrate another podium. We'll get you back up here soon.
I hope so. Thank you, guys.
And back at booth 200 here, Jonathan Oshalim with a runner-up finish here today. Treacherous conditions out there. A lot different than the P2 from last week, but congrats on the result here regardless.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a different track layout than I'm used to, so that caught me out a little bit, but yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah, that extension, what makes this the long layout of the Roval here, and already a layout that's pretty difficult on the tires that are very temperature sensitive. That right-hander there was already a killer, and then it sees you spin out from the lead as well. That's just a tough section.
Yeah, I knew the tires were overheated, and I was like, okay, take it easy into this corner. And I think that's partially why I spun, because I took it different than I was taking it. So, yeah, it's just, it is a tough corner, though, just in general. It's so easy to spin there.
Matt, what do you got?
I mean, congrats on the P2. Obviously, not exactly how you would have liked to have finished, but I mean, a good result nonetheless. But yeah, I mean, such a difficult track here. I mean, you kind of mentioned it that maybe backing off wasn't the best play for you. It might have caused an incident, but I mean, how do you manage it if you feel like taking different lines might cause some issues for you? I mean, is there anything that you can do differently to kind of help the tires a little bit?
Yeah, I think, well, in retrospect, I think I should have gone up on the brake bias too. That might have helped, but it's just I think I took a different line, but also I hit the brakes later, maybe. I think I have to look at it, but basically because I changed where I braked and then I hit it at a different amount. That was the problem. And I did have problems in practice spinning there, so it happened in the race. But that's okay. I'm glad we didn't take out JJ or me or anybody. So it is what it is. JJ's fast, so second is good still.
Yep, second's great results, especially at JJ's playground here at the Roval. But you almost stole one from him. We'll get you another Roval victory here soon, I'm sure. But in the meantime, another P2 for you. Shout-outs as usual.
Yeah, sure. Everyone at McConey Setup Shop and all my teammates at JO Motorsports.
All righty, partner. Go celebrate another P2. We'll get you back up here soon.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, now it's time to talk to your race winner. It's JJ Wang back up here for the 5th time this season in booth 200 after a hard-fought Sunday victory. I mean, you're the Roval guy, but you had your work cut out for you here today with Jonathan hanging right there until the bitter end.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, not gonna lie. I was pretty confident going in, and then I saw all the stacked names coming up, and then I saw that Jonathan pipped me by like a 10th in qualifying. I was like, oh no. But yeah, that was, I knew that kind of a little bit of experience, but also just, just making sure that Jonathan had to work for it. And then one of us was it's like kind of on a tightrope. You're boxing on a tightrope and you're focused on making the other guy fall rather than like swinging for the knockout punch. So that was kind of my strategy, going in for today. And it just worked out. So I'm happy that it did.
I mean, a lot of attrition in this race, like you would expect normally throughout the field, but I mean, in the first lap, 2 of the top 4 drivers in qualifying were at the tail end of the lineup. I mean, that certainly has to alleviate some concerns. You still have to deal with Oshalim, but no Pierce Berry and no Olivia Hayward after the first lap as well.
Yeah, that helped a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know. I thought I could probably have Pierce in a couple of sectors. I was watching his practice, and I was just kind of thinking, couple places I could probably try to set up, but. The unfortunate mistake just kind of opened the door for me to manage my tires a bit. And really tonight was just a tire management game. My whole goal was to try to make Oshalim overheat his tires, and then hopefully that kind of put him in trouble. And sure enough, it kind of did.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on the race win here, JJ. And you kind of alluded to the small mistake that you made that allowed Oshalim to kind of get through on you. And it came right in that bus stop section that took about I mean, it took out just about everybody here tonight, and you almost got up into the wall because of it as well. I mean, just talk to me about that section in particular, the track, because it claimed almost literally everybody here tonight.
Yeah, it's just it's like the worst car to go through that corner. I know that's kind of ironic, saying that stock cars are more unwieldy on road, but this car lulls you into a sense of confidence because of the all-wheel drive, and it is a road car, so there's a lot of grip, and then all of a sudden that grip goes away because of the weight. So that bus stop is just especially bad for this car because in order to be fast, you really just have to floor it, even just kind of entering the chicane, and then at that point you just have to hope that your muscle memory just kind of did you favors and kind of picking the right rotation degree, and you just kind of hold on for dear life. Yeah, I was happy that didn't end up worse than it did. I think at the end of the day, some of it is a little bit of luck as well. So I have to be thankful for that.
Well, good stuff from you as usual here on the Rovals and PMR overall. Two-time and defending series champ on top here as we roll into our drop race section of the season. How are you feeling headed into the stretch here?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been interesting. I think in the previous seasons, it's kind of been either or for the Thursday or Sunday, and sometimes more Thursday, but I suspect something might have changed with the algorithm because I've noticed that there's just more points for bigger grids now. Like, I think there was a 300 difference in strength of field, and Oshalem I scored about quite literally only 4 points less for my win here, which was not the case in previous seasons. Like, that would tend to be 10, maybe 15 point difference. So it's tough. But I think kind of everything I did kind of early in the season, hopefully it'll pay dividends later on. So feeling pretty decent, but you can never take these for granted.
Well, good job here today. Shout outs for you.
Yeah, thanks. So I want to give a shout out to Nave Seifkert. I'm driving his car, and I will be driving his car for the rest of the season. I'm glad to actually get a win for him. He was a victim of a vehicular assault last week, but he's recovering. Thank God. But I wanted to I wanted to at least put one kind of on the top spot for him. Big thanks to my team in general. James Watson, Sean Bagley. Casey couldn't make it, although she made the Thursday, but thanks to her as well. She gave me a little bit of advice on some of the slow sections as well. And then Jeff Mathis, of course. How could I forget? My PMR engineer. And big thanks to kind of some friends of the garage, Scarlett, Hankian as well. Hankian's coming from a win himself just to make it. He wasn't going to make it, but I convinced him to show up, and I think he had a pretty decent night as well. And big thanks to you guys for coming in, week out. Today was a tough one to make because of F1 Miami, but I'm happy to just kind of see the support and effort. It's been really fun, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Well, we thank you as well in kind. Hopefully we can get you another victory here with Mission O coming up, but regardless, go celebrate this one. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Alrighty, partner. We've got another broadcast to make here shortly, but in the meantime, let's shout out who was hanging out with us today.
Yeah, had, of course, Goodleaf was in the chat, cheering on JJ and Indica Scarlet, getting a podium there for Goodleaf, so gotta love the purple machine on the podium there, and, of course, Olivia Hayward jumped in here as well when Indica was in her interview and said that it was netcode, that nothing really badly occurred between the two, so good things all around. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. We got the Mission O coming up here at Charlotte, but it's the Oval. Not going to want to miss it. And shout out to all the drivers. We had 20 drivers with a United States F1 race going on today. So shout out to the drivers for showing up here.
Yes, indeed. We'll hopefully see you in Mission O here in just a minute, but if not, we'll give you an outlook of what we got coming up here. Of course, we mentioned Tuesday night's the charity race for Nate Seifker. Once we get that time 100% nailed down, we'll relay that in the Discord server. You can join the Discord server through the link in the description of this video if you're not hanging out with us already. So that is Tuesday night. Wednesday night, the ASRL Sports Car Championship will roll into Road America That should be a good time for GT3, GT4 multi-class racing action. Thursday night, the Mission R Challenges, or not the Mission R Challenge, the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series is at Darlington. Although Mission R at Darlington would be interesting as well. But Mission R Challenge next week, speaking of interesting and speaking of chaotic and destructive, we're back at the Nürburgring next Sunday for the Industriefahrten, or however you say that. I don't speak German. But we're back at the Nürburgring next Sunday afternoon for the Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast. That is where you can catch us in the next 7 days. We'll hopefully see you here in just a few minutes at the Charlotte Oval. For everybody with the Mission Art community, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we're saying so long from the Charlotte Roval, where JJ Wang stands tall with a 5th victory on the season.